Now to news here, a new report from NHS providers. And good news.
Quite right.
And sporting pride. Are you yawning because you're still...
We're all it. That doesn't really help at this moment.
Yeah, I did think, though, because we're just finishing on the rolls, I thought the King's statement was so lovely.
It was, yeah,
on
very
defeat,
generous.
wasn't it? About my wife and I, our family.
Yeah.
It was very homely.
And speaking of...
videos over and over and over again, because it almost is incredible to process this morning to you, Noel. And just picking up on what Richard was just mentioning before the bulletin, from essentially being shot in the back of the head. I mean, it is just a pure fluke that he happened to turn. What the US President Joe Biden has been saying, he's urged the country to come together as he addressed the nation from the Oval Office to condemn the shooting of Donald Trump. The attack left Mr. Trump wounded and is being investigated as an attempted assassination and a potential act of domestic terrorism. A bystander was killed and 2 others critically injured. Our chief correspondent... Well, meanwhile, Donald Trump has now travelled to Milwaukee in the state of Wisconsin ahead of Republican National Convention, where he will address the conference and accept his official nomination for the presidency from his party this week. In a number of interviews since the shooting, Mr. Trump said that he has rewritten his speech and that he will use the opportunity to bring the country together rather than to attack Joe Biden. Our North American... Now, the King and Queen have announced that they will travel to Australia and Samoa this autumn, marking Charles' first official overseas tour since his cancer diagnosis. It's also the first time as a reigning monarch will have travelled to Australia since the late Queen Elizabeth in 2011. Well, our correspondent, Nithya, I think we are still looking at those truly happened. But the questions, of course, Richard, where you are what on earth were the Secret Service doing, if not putting a sniper on every available building around the person who could be the future president once again?
Yeah.
Will be absolutely watertight. That President Trump, and I've seen it online too, this idea that he was just millimetres away to look to one side at the point that the shots were fired. Visit New Zealand too, but he's been advised against that on health grounds.